So it's already 10 a.m. So welcome again, welcome everybody. I would like to welcome all the participants, friends, coordinators, partners of the program Libraries Modern Agora. We, FRSI, Information Society Development Foundation, we are very proud and very glad that we can have you here, all the participants, all 12 selected participants from Ukraine, Georgia, and Moldova. As you know, this program is dedicated to cultural managers from the Eastern Partnership countries. We would like to provide you some nice educational opportunities and give you some skills and qualifications to become trainer. Also, in the meantime, get acquainted with some Polish transformation processes, as well as to meet the potential partners and establish the new cooperation. So, the partners in our project are from Lviv, Kishinev, and Tbilisi and Kutaisi. So, we are very glad that we have so many good partners. We are collaborating very closely. So, big thanks again for the partners. This program is realized and implemented thanks to the program Region in Transition, organized by the Education for Democracy Foundation, and also thanks to the support of the city of Warsaw. What is in the program for this year, for 2014? We are just launching off proudly a cycle of webinars. We will meet, of course, today. Next week, the same hour, the same date, Thursday at 10 a.m. So October 2nd, and then October 9th, also Thursday at 10 a.m. Then we are waiting for you in Warsaw to attend the study visit between 16 and 26. And then we will continue our collaboration during the workshops which will be organized in Lviv in the beginning of December. What is the program dedicated for? At first, we would like to encourage you to ask questions and give us the answers. Also, we would like you to gather the new contacts and start new cooperation. And most of all, we would like you to gain new skills and new knowledge. I would like to tell you a few words about the study visit, since the webinars we are just starting, and I think they will not need the additional comments. But of course, you can ask me any questions during the webinar or after the presentation of Dominika. But what I would like to tell you about the study visit, what is very important for us, is to give you some kind of kitchen perspective. This is a proverb in Polish. If we say that we are presenting something from the kitchen perspective, it means practically that it's peer-to-peer learning. So the study visit is organized in 3 blocks, presenting different opportunities and different perspectives. So you will attend a series of workshops on the facilitation, advocacy, and partnership building. We will provide you the workshops about the multicultural cooperation. You will also attend the Congress of Libraries, the module which is dedicated for new innovative solutions for the cultural institutions and organizations, so not only for the libraries. And then you will also have the series of group meetings and individual meetings. Yesterday, I have asked you to provide me some ideas and suggestions whom you would like to meet during your study visit to Warsaw. It's for us of utmost importance to get this information from you, since we are finalizing now the program, and your suggestions will be crucial for us just to set the program, to contact the proper people so that your visit will be really attractive and fruitful for you. So, in the meantime, I hope Warsaw is also very attractive and we will focus not only on working processes on education, but also on the city life and city lights, especially during the nighttime. And then we prolong our cooperation during the workshop, which will be organized in Lviv. It's going to be very intensive, almost a week lasting training, during which you will get the special skills on advocacy, facilitation, and partnerships building. And then we will be able to actually define where and what we are heading for within this program. So I think now I will give the floor to our trainer, Dominika. So Dominika, the floor is yours. And now I will turn off the screen so you will not see me, but you can ask me any questions on chat. I will be trying to answer you in the meantime. And some of the questions I think we would like to refer to during the Q&A sessions, which will be held after Dominika presentation. So please keep active. Please keep concentrated during the presentation. And I'm here and Kasia is here, so we are also to support you. Okay, so we will see, I think, in 40 minutes again, and I will be typing on chat in block letters so you can easily find my comments. Okay, Dominika, let's start.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, here we are. There is the start of my presentation. In the very beginning, I would like to tell you why I was invited, why I guess I was invited. I have to tell you that I am a trainer and I call myself facilitator. For more than 10 years, already 12, about 12 years, I'm working with different groups of people in order to help them to learn, to make decisions, to make plans, and to actively participate in a group work. Today, I would try to sum up my 12 years of experience into a short story about making use of facilitation. This meeting, the webinar, is the first step toward getting better this subject. We will have two other meetings. Each of you will meet me also during your visit in Warsaw, and also I will come to Lviv to have a longer training on facilitation with you. So today there will be only the short story about making use of facilitation. The aims of today's webinar are introduction to the idea of the facilitation. We are here, or you are here, to listen to me and interact a little bit with me in order to have some concept, very basic concepts about the facilitation. Second aim of this meeting is knowing better the structure of the planned workshop. As I told you at the beginning, there will be a little bit longer and the longest meeting dedicated to facilitation, and I will tell at the end of this meeting a little bit more about it. And also the third aim of today's webinar is to get ready for self-discovery. I would like to invite you to getting deeper into the subject of facilitation by doing different kinds of homeworks. Yes, unfortunately, sorry for that. We will have some homeworks, but let's treat them as a self-discovery and as some work that will help you to grow and to find out new aspects in a topic that you maybe know from the previous experiences or that you are discovering at the moment. Okay, so those three aims somehow connects with our three main topics of our agenda. The biggest part of the presentation will be about the facilitation. As I told you, there will be basic concepts of the idea of working with the group as a facilitators. Second, smaller subject will be a short presentation of our further meetings and introduction to the task that you are invited to work individually later after our webinar. So, coming quickly to the main topic of our meeting, facilitation. I will try to talk with you about this process and to answer some questions. When we are using this, what is facilitation? How, why, by whom the facilitation should be done to make a proper use of it? These are the questions that I would like to ask and answer. But before that, please answer the question which is in our test. How often do you think that you use the facilitation techniques? Answer this.
Yes, we are seeing that participants are clicking the proper, for them, of course, the proper answers. All the answers are proper, but we are just waiting for your response.
I'm very eager. How often do you think that you use the facilitation? Once a day? More?
Once per month?
We will see. I'm really curious. I'm really curious what we will get from your answers.
Okay, 5 more people to go to fill out this form.
Oh, we are really eager here.
We're almost there. Okay, I will end voting very soon. Very soon. Okay. And then you will see the results. What are the results, Dominika?
Okay, wonderful. Almost half of you, or half of those who answered the question, are using the facilitation techniques few times per day. Only 5% of you are using few times per week, and 1/3 of you are using facilitation and the methods few times per month. Okay, that's very interesting. And I'm very glad that you consider yourself as officially involved in participation. Very nice. That will really help me in presenting you the idea. I asked you about your usage of the facilitation, how often you use it. Now I would like you to introduce you my schedule of the day in order to give you some ideas about the moments of my life where I'm using facilitation. Please listen to my story carefully and try to identify those moments where I'm using facilitation or where I'm participating in a process where facilitation is used, or the moments where facilitation should be used. So your task will be to count how many times the facilitation was or should be involved during my day. You will hear about my morning, my midday time, and my evening. And after this story, I will ask you some more questions. Okay, so I'm telling you actually the day which happened 3 days ago to me and my family. I'm waking up usually at around 6:30. So 15 minutes after standing up, I'm turning on the radio. Usually I'm trying to listen to some interesting debates, trying to find out the program on some comments on the politician situation. 2 days ago, I was listening to a very interesting program run by my favorite presenter. There were lots of politicians involved, and as we have a quite difficult and hot moments in Polish politics at the moment, the politicians were really involved, but somehow the person who was hosting this was not able to give a proper process of the whole audition, and the politicians were quarreling too much. I was too tough. It was too tough. and I couldn't really concentrate and get the points. So I turned off the radio and started to prepare the breakfast. 2 days ago, I had a bit bigger breakfast than usually because it was not only me, my sister, and my kid who was having a breakfast together, but also my friend who came from the other city to visit us, and she overslept with us. So four of us was sitting around the table having a bit longer breakfast than usually. During that breakfast, I was really eager to hear about the vision of the nice afternoon of four girls sitting around the table. I wanted to find out what will be a nice afternoon for each of us because we had a plan to spend some more time after work and after school with my friend and do something interesting for each of us. After a bit longer breakfast, as I tell you, than usually, we had to leave house and go to school, to kindergarten. I was driving my kid and two other kids of the neighbors to the kindergarten. I left them at school, and in front of the building, I met a group of parents. As usual, we were chatting a little bit, but this day we had a little bit longer conversation, which actually I got a bit nervous about it because I was really hard at work, but I had to stay. There was an important issue to be discussed. In a few days, we have in Poland Teachers' Day, and we usually celebrate this day and celebrate teachers, giving them special honor, usually presents also, maybe flowers. So the parents were trying to find out and make a decision how we should celebrate this that year. As I told you, I was a little bit hurry. I couldn't really participate in this conversation in the middle of the morning. I had to go faster a little bit. So we decided that we will continue also involving our other parents in a discussion through Yahoo list or other kind of internet tool. I left school quickly and ran as quick as it's possible toward my everyday life obligations, so work. I had to be there at 9 because I had the team meeting. My coworkers were meeting all together, and we had to discuss how our organization should be introduced to the public. We have more and more situations where we talk with media and other important um, parties. So we had to agree what kind of work we want to introduce to the others, to the public. I had a small presentation about my view as I am a boss of a team of people. And after that, after the presentation, I was about to lead some kind of question and answer session because everybody was involved and everybody is interested in the way how should we speak about our organization. After the small conversation with the team members, I was quickly moving to the steering committee. In our organization, we are now in a process of changes. We are trying to change a little bit our legislation basis because we want to introduce new activities and so on. And for that, we have every week a meeting of the board members and the coworkers in order to decide some new ideas, to make some plans, and to create a vision of the organization with the changes involved. After the steering committee, we were really glad to have a lunch together. We really like each other, and we were happy that we can continue our conversation in a less official manner. We had a very nice lunch, which was followed by a little bit less pleasant situation because I had to talk with two of my coworkers, my subordinates, on a topic of the conflict. Actually, two of them are really in a conflict situation, which started to involve also other people. The situation between two of them is a bit difficult at the moment, and I observed that it influenced also other people. So we really had to talk about it and to find out how to solve the conflicts and how to work more effectively and in a nicer manner, actually. I was a person who was doing a kind of mediation in between two of them. Luckily, we finished pretty quickly. Maybe the tension between two of them is still there. We were not able to make the situation clear totally, but we found out some solutions, and I hope that quickly they will get in touch with each other and they will work more effectively and not influence also the others. After work, which usually finish at around 6, I mean the work in the office, uh, I was going again to school, to the kindergarten, to pick up children. I was responsible that day for picking up my kid and two other, as usually every second day I'm doing this, and every other day the other parent is doing this. So today I had three wonderful girls, years from 3 to 5 in my car on the way to our houses. And actually, you can imagine how hard it was to get their attention. They were so much involved in conversation in between three of them that it was really hard to find out and to ask them some questions. I was really curious how they spent the day, what they were doing, which I hope that will be easier to discuss and to get from the other girls, while my daughter is not very eager to share that kind of knowledge. After driving girls home, I took my daughter and my friend from my home, and we all went to the restaurant when we planned to have a nice dinner. My sister joined us in some time, and two other friends also came. So, in a bunch of people, we were sitting in a restaurant having very nice meal. I was really looking for a restaurant that I didn't know, and actually, it was a successful decision to spend time in that one that I chosen. We were talking a little bit about our day, but also about all the other subjects that came to my mind. We were happy to have really good time and have lots of exchange of ideas, opinions, points of views, and nice information. After getting back home, after this dinner, when everybody was already uh, doing something on his or her own. My friend left us. She went her home. My kid was already in bed. My sister was doing her work. And I had some time for myself. I was watching TV, relaxing a little bit, and looking for my favorite program, which is about art. I was watching to the conversation between some artists, and they're listening to their opinions on quite controversial issues that were introduced by the presenter, by the host of the program. It was a very nice program actually, because the host was really able to find out unexpected points of views and to get some informations that the artists at the beginning were not able or eager to share with us, with the people who watch them. But because of the skills of the presenter, we were really able to learn something new and to find out the very private point of view of the invited guests. After that fulfilling experience, I could really go to sleep and forget about the whole day full of different activities. And now I have a question to you, the question that I promised you. Here on the screen, you have a slide with the question, how many times the facilitation was used during my day? How many times the facilitation were used or should be used during my day? If you think that 1 to 3 times, make a dot on this number. If you think that 4 to 6, make dot there. If you think that 7 or more, use your pencil to point that number.
Could you please your pencil? Are you able to do that? It's on the bottom bar on the window.
No, we have. Do we have any
Do we
dots?
have? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think we have some technical problems with it. Could you please respond on chat whether you're able to use a pencil? Okay, I will try to do that.
I'm eager.
Okay. Okay, I think we have to skip it and then we will come back to it during the next part of the presentation.
Okay, no pencils. So write on chat. Then write on chat. You can write on chat. Oh, Natalka wrote that 4 to 6. Elena thinks that more than 7. Masha, 4 to 6. Okay. So I guess that you are really good in counting. Oh, we have also the response 1, 2, 3. Different responses, but I see that I guess that most of you decided that it was 7 and more. True. 7 and more. Actually, how many do you think? 11? Give me the sign if you think that it's more than 11. I counted. Even 12 could be. Yes, we will try to identify those situations even more deeply. Yes, actually, I use the facilitation many times, or the facilitation should be used many times during the whole day. As you saw from the story, I use it in a professional way during the professional meetings, which is obvious. I am a facilitator and I'm using those skills every day in my work life. But I am using these skills also in all the others everyday life situations where a group of people meets and when they discuss something. Now, let's decide on some common understanding of the facilitation. What is it? What ideas, associations do you have with that word? If you can, please respond on chat. Write on chat any association, any word, any ideas that comes to your mind when you hear the word facilitation. What we have there. Can we make the chat bigger to see the answers? Sure. Let's see. Making things work. Yeah, wonderful. Easify the process. True. Helping difficult things to be easier. Wonderful. Actually, yes. Any activity that makes tasks for other easy. Kind of help. Improvement. Helping somebody to understand the topic. Wonderful. Thank you very much for all the response. I see that you find out the facilitation as something that is done to make life easier. True. And the role of the facilitator is somebody who helps the others. Yes. To understand the situation, to use their skills, to take actions, share of love and understanding, even more. Oh, we have even the philosophical way of thinking about the facilitation. That's wonderful. Thank you, Elena, for progress, for this word. Thank you very much for all the answers. You can still think about it. And now I will show you my association. When I was asking myself the question, what is it? And when I was trying to put difficult sentences, difficult long sentences, a definition about the facilitation that you can find in many books about the facilitation, I was actually come up with 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. Yes. I think that the very important word connected with facilitation is guide or guided, guiding. So all the words that are about somebody who guide the process. And the process is the second very important word for me, according to this definition. So this is a guided process. It's a kind of activity which should have some aims. Everybody who takes part in a facilitated process should know where is he or she or where the people are going, what they want to achieve. And for that, the process should be structured. So guided activity process with aims and structure, this is my definition of facilitation. I call it a structured process of getting toward a agreed destination with the assistance of the facilitator. For me, this is making the space for others to speak, to grow, to progress, as you said. So all the words that you mentioned are really in the mood also with my understanding of facilitation. I think that it's important to understand this, that this is a task to make others people easier and to make the discussion easier and more fruitful in order to take from people as much as is possible during any kind of interaction. It's important to underline this. During my morning, during the day, and during my evening, I used facilitations many times. Officially, like in a work-connected period, it was in answer and question session, during team and board meeting, and during conflict resolution with my coworkers. So somehow I cover three main areas of facilitation: discussions, vision plans and decision-making process, and problems and conflict solving. This is when usually the facilitation is or should be involved. We are using facilitation in order to exchange opinions with somebody else, to learn from each other, to find out unexpected, new, creative ideas. It's important that the facilitation should lead us to not obvious meanings of the things that we are discussing. It's making plans and helping us in reaching decisions. Facilitation is for solving problems and conflicts in a way that every part of the conflict should be involved and have a space to speak. And we use also the facilitation in designing vision, in designing our future. How to do this? As a facilitator, you should go with people toward the aim and focus on the product. You should do this in a structured way, taking care about the process. And you should involve participants with this process. So work with people. And those three aspects of facilitation, product, process, and people, are equally important in facilitation. While facilitating some kind of situation with people, you should try to decide what will be the project. Should it be an exchange of opinions, making a decision, finding solutions, building a plan, discovering the vision? Everybody can decide on his or her own what will be the most proper product of facilitation. While taking care about the process, the person should be responsible for guiding and structuring the whole situation, building safe, effective, and constructive atmosphere for people who are involved. And third issue, the same important as the previous two of them, people should be active, should be involved, should be committed in order to be creative and cooperative. It's important to find out the way to get people open, to work with the honesty of them, to take as much as it's possible from people who are involved in a situation of any kind of discussion, making plans, visions, or conflict solution situation. For all of that, the facilitator is very needed. The person who is leading the discussion. I believe that each of you is already a kind of facilitator professionally, because you participated in many situations where the facilitation was involved, and you probably practice this professional or privately, and you have those skills, knowledge and attitude that is needed. I believe that always, doesn't matter how many of the practice in a private or public, in a work environment, how many practice of facilitation you have, always we can work more on those three aspects about the facilitation. Knowledge which should be involved and which should the facilitator have on his own to get the best facilitation that is possible is knowledge about interpersonal communication and about group dynamics. This is a basic to be able to get people involved toward exchanging ideas, making decisions, building plans. The skills which are needed is involving people in stimulating their activity, is structuring and guiding situation toward the aim, and is building the safeness. And I will underline that only in a safe environment, when people feel that they can speak whatever they want and they won't be judged, this is the best situation for the honest and open interactive discussion in between people. For building situation based on those knowledge and skills, the attitude of the facilitator is also very important. And facilitator should be ready to listen more than talk. So the situation should be very opposite to the one that we have during the webinar, while here I'm talking more than listening to you, even though I would really like to listen a little bit more about you, which will be the situation when we meet in October and in December. The facilitator should be always open for a dialogue. But the most important thing is that he or she should be neutral, which means that the facilitator should always keep the equal distance toward people and toward opinions. Doesn't matter how much I like my coworkers or any of them, I shouldn't show it during my facilitation their conflict situation. When I'm working with my coworkers on finding the solution of the conflict, I should show that I treat two of them equally. Doesn't matter how much I like only one of them. And I should make a space for any of the opinions. Doesn't matter from whom this opinion is coming and how this opinion is in contradiction or work toward my own point of view. I always should build an equal distance toward people and toward opinion to be really neutral facilitator and to give a safe space to people to exchange their points of view and activities. Okay, this is all about the facilitation, the main concept and the main basic messages that I would like to show you during my webinar. There are many aspects. There is a situation, there are competences, there are techniques, there is attitude that should be practiced every day and that can be practiced in front of the others in order to get some feedback in more training situation. This is why we organize for you two workshops. The first one in Warsaw and the second one in Lviv, in order to practice the facilitation on your own. In Warsaw, we will focus in Warsaw and in Lviv, we will focus on better understanding of facilitation and the role of the facilitator. I believe that you have some kind of skills, attitudes, and knowledge that is needed. We will build the condition to experience even more and to make a better use of your skills in the future. You will experience the different types of discussions during our workshop, and you will learn from theory, and you will quickly put the theory into practice in order to gather your own experience in facilitation. In Warsaw, We will focus more on taking part in a facilitated process. You will be learning from the experiences, from the processes that will be facilitated mainly by me, while in Lviv, you will be leading your own discussions, learning by doing, with, of course, the proper preparation for this in between those two workshops. And in order to get ready for the Warsaw experience and even for the Lviv experience in the longer perspective, I would like to introduce you your homework. It's important to make it to get ready for the workshop in Warsaw and to start thinking about the facilitation on the everyday life basis, to take as much as it's possible from your experiences and to share with the others, members of our group from 3 countries, uh, your own opinions, ideas, and experiences with the facilitation. Your homework will be to observe, to listen of any kind of the discussion. It can be discussion that happen at your work. It could be something which is a public gathering and the people are discussing in public, what you can watch at TV or listen to that in radio. It can be in your own office or even in your own home. Find out the situation where people discuss, where people share, where people make plans, where people make decisions, or where people solve problems. Make some observations and draw after that. Draw a picture with your comments on the process. It can be a metaphorical view of the role of the facilitator. Your task will be to make a picture. And actually, I would tell you that the skills of drawing are not the important one. It doesn't matter how you will draw it. The skills are not, the drawing skills are not important. You can draw in whatever manner you like, but actually your conclusions, your comments are the most important. It can be metaphor or it can be a very direct comment to the situation that you observe. It's important to focus on the role of the facilitator. After drawing a picture, you are asked to send it to me. It can be a picture if you are doing this in the computer using any kind of program, Paint or something, or you can make a photo of the picture drawn on a simple piece of paper. The deadline is the 13th of October, so 3 days before you're coming to Warsaw. You are asked to send this picture or photo of it to me. And before that, we will send you the instruction by email. So you are not obliged to remember everything what I said about the homework, but you are more obliged to remember everything what I said about the facilitation in order to be able to do this task. Thank you very much for listening to me. We quickly, shortly go through 3 main subjects of today's meeting. I show you my point of view on facilitation. I hope that I introduce you a little bit more about the workshops, and I have hope that you will remember about the homework. So thank you very much for listening.
Thanks a lot, Dominika. Could you hear me? That's Magda again, your organizer and coordinator. I hope you enjoyed the lecture, very interactive, and Dominika, as from my perspective, in my opinion, did a very good job as a debutant also. It's a great entrance. Really hope you enjoyed it and that was really efficient for you. So, as for now, I had a few organizational questions. First of all, could you please comment on chat whether you have any technical problems or whether there is something which is unclear for you, which you would like to practice a little bit in terms of technical usage of the webinar? Because, okay, so I see that there are no problems, not at all. I'm waiting for some other responses from you. Because we love the new technologies in our foundation and with our colleagues and trainers and friends. But sometimes they are a bit, let's say, unpredictable. In today's, for instance, our pencil didn't want to draw. I will try it again, but I'm not sure what his decision is gonna be in terms of using. Yeah, but that's what Božena said. Of course, I will check it again, and probably we will use it during the next week webinar. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you didn't have any problems. But if you have any doubts, any problems, any organizational issues, just please comment on chat. This is a very good time because the last 15 minutes we always use as the so-called Q&A session. Um, yes. Okay, I promise to check the pencil, what is wrong with it. And then I will try also to, maybe now it's gonna work. So as you see, this is our part of Europe. So you can see Warsaw here. And then you can see and then I can see that you are able to draw, so that is fine. So on the left side on the picture, you will see the pencil. So you have to click on that, and then it should work. Yeah, I can see. Great, great. And now people having fun. Could you stop for a moment? I will wipe it off, and then since we don't know each other. I mean, some of you know each other, some of you know me, some of you also know Kasia, and now we just talked to Dominika. But what I would like you also to do now, I would like to propose you a nice exercise, which is to draw the dot on the map and draw maybe quite small, but still write your name on the map in the place where you live. So I'm wiping off this your hitherto work in drawing, so that you have some place to, yeah. Okay, it's almost there. Okay, so let's try. Okay, now you can draw again. So click on the pencil, and yeah. So and then you can comment on chat, writing your name and surname and introducing yourself. Like I'm Magda. I will write the example. My name is Magda, and I live in Warsaw. I'm your project coordinator. And then next to me there is Kasia, who also lives in Warsaw. Yes, I can see. You have a great job. Did a really great job. And yeah, this is Magda here as well. Okay. I can see there are some people still. Are you having any problems with using the pencil again? Because I can see that not everybody is able to do that. I don't see all the people. Ah, yeah. Okay, I did it again. So this is the thing that the board must be enabled to make use of you. Oh, great. We are having some nice initiatives from you. Oh, super. And you have Natalia and the other Natalia. And there is a big group of Moldovans. Hello. Otilia, Gennady, Oleg, and Adriana and Elena, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I cannot make the map bigger. This is the answer to Adriana. This is just, some technical restrictions we have to follow. Okay. Okay. So I think that's all for now in terms of drawing on the map. And then, yes, and we have also the participants from Ukraine, two Natalias, two Marias, and Bożena, and welcome also our participants from Georgia, Nato, Nino, Surhan, Taco, and Georgi. So, and okay, also my best regards to Ihor from Ukraine. So I think we know each other a bit more now. So if you don't have any more questions, what I would like to suggest now is to get acquainted with our contacts. Again, if you have any problems, you can also call us. Any questions also to Dominika, because she's sitting next to me and asking whether you need some additional support from her, etc. So could you please type if you would like to. Okay, so this is question regarding the homework. Should it be one photo or might be more? Dominika, you can also answer the question out loud.
It should be actually one picture. It doesn't matter what you put into this picture. It could be a few scenes or a few comments or a few elements of the picture, but I would like to get one picture from each of you.
Okay, so we are waiting for some other questions. They are coming. So, and I remind you about the next webinar, next Thursday, October 2nd. Yes, October 2nd at 10 a.m. meeting with Anna Miodyńska about the local diagnosis and the partnerships. Yes, and Dominika will be also answering on chat now. So you will get the instructions probably tomorrow. And then if you have also any more questions, you can also communicate an email. Yes, Dominika, could you also refer to this question?
There was a question about each comment. If there should be any comment to the picture or to the photo. No, please, no comment. Make your drawing as a message for us. So we will use those pictures later on our webinar in Warsaw, and we will introduce those pictures to each other. So the comments will be welcomed during our meeting. And I would like to facilitate a process of exchanging ideas and comments to the pictures. So your task is only to draw and make it as a comment. No other verbal comments are needed. Right? Good?
Okay. Any other opinions, feedbacks from you? How could we improve the next webinar? And this is a question from me. What kind of information, what kind of support would you need to get even more involved into the webinar? Of course, the webinar is being recorded, so if you would like to come back to some issues, I will make the short movie on that, and then I will put it probably on the YouTube and send you the link so that you'd be able to watch it again. If you need some recordings also from the chat, we will also make the short summary from that. Yes, of course, Natalia, we will have, as I told right now, the recording is being made, and also we are making the short summary of your comments, and we will refer to your questions. And then, Otilia, did you skip a part of the webinar because we have discussed the homework? So the homework instructions, no, for the next webinar. Okay, I understand. No, for the next webinar in advance. No, 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 no. So we have just started cooperation with Dominica, and Dominica asked you to do a homework before you get to Warsaw for the study visit, before the next part of the facilitation training. No, but in advance, before the next webinar, you don't have to do anything. Just get yourself prepared as today. Participate in the webinar, get yourself comfortable, etc. So you don't have to do anything special before the next webinar.